Yo, so it's been a while since I dropped a video, but essentially the idea I want to share with you guys today is buying the freaking dip. So apparently the S&P 500, specifically VU, has went from 630 to around 608, and that's a huge drop, especially if you had purchased some VU, the Vanguard's version of the S&P 500, when it was at 620, 630, etc., etc. The last time it's been this low was when it was in late November of last year. It fell at 610 and it went back up immediately. You know, at the time I don't know what I was doing. I should have bought something, but then again, it was short lived. It only fell by that much, maybe in a single day, and then went back up there next. So whoever had the opportunity to buy at that time bought and probably enjoyed the fruits of that labor. But at the same time, because the S&P fell to 608, then yeah. So yeah, but what did this mean for you? What does it mean for the future? What does it mean for everybody here? Well, coming from some random guy from the internet, I have seen multiple times that whenever the S&P falls, like how it did back in April of 2025, when the announcement of tariffs was going to happen, and when it did happen, well, the announcement was enough for it to shake the market, right? So because the market does not like uncertainty, so this led to a lot of selling, and the S&P fell by a lot. It fell from, I have no idea how much, to I don't know how much, but it went back up over the course of 2 to 3 months. But we haven't seen a pre highs from the S&P back in April last year. We're kind of far above it. And so what does that mean? What that means is that when it crashes and buy, the market recovers, and it performs better than ever. So all I'm trying to say today is go ahead and take some extra cash and toss it into the S&P 500. Remember, when I'm not asking, I wouldn't ask myself to buy a lot of S&P. If I can only buy, if it's SPY, VU, or an equivalent, I would only invest the amount that I'm invested. In other words, if I can buy the entire stock, if I can buy multiple shares of VU or SPY, then I won't. If I know that I need to save that money for whatever debt that you may have, whatever other responsibilities you have to keep up with, then I'd allocate my money towards that, just to buy peace of mind. Please don't ever take out a loan to invest. That's crazy. If you want to live the fast life, or if you want to live a stressful life and gamble your way to success or even failure, then go on ahead. What I would do if I am still skeptical is, if I have an extra 20, 30, 40, 50 laying around, I just invest, especially when the S&P is low. Right now it's low. Right? It's the lowest that I've seen in a couple of months. The lowest has been, like how I said, it was late November. It was at 608. Sorry, it was at 610, and right now I just saw a couple of hours ago today, March 13th, Friday the 13th, this day out of all days, it was at 608. And so if you have extra money to buy and hold, and then much later see the results of your discipline, then go ahead and invest $20, $30. Just toss it in there and see what happens. On the flip side, if you are a holder in defense stocks, then you are winning. Northrop and Lockheed, they're good lords. So you know what's interesting is that when the US invaded Venezuela was around the time that I started investing in oil. So I kid you not, 2 days or maybe even a day before this invasion happened, I invested into I invested more into Exxon, more into Chevron, and there is this ETF called it's called XLE. So what this did was, it's the ETF that targets oil, right? So I didn't toss a lot into those shares, and the only regret I'm having right now is not having tossed a lot, right? So because I didn't, now I'm regretting it. I wish I had done more, but I don't really worry about it. It's cool. It happened, you know. I'm not gonna dwell on the past, but because I was able to invest early, it went up. So that's about oil, and I was talking about defense stocks. And so on the flip side, I was looking into invest into Lockheed. It was at 3. It was the shares that I saw back in December, November time was between 300 and 400. I don't remember the exact price, but at the time I thought it was super. But now Lockheed jumped. I think to 6.5. So that's crazy. That's super crazy. It just jumped. And so what other ETFs that you are invested in did that also benefited from this jump? The quick one is the quick one that comes to mind is called CHD. So the Charles Schwab dividend ETF that went from when I bought it was at 26 and something. Now it just went to 30 sauce. And so if you were able to buy a lot of shares, right now you are seeing huge. So keep investing, keep buying. Right now I would say it's a bit hot. The defense stocks and the ETFs that feed into these or that base them themselves on some of these stocks. It's a bit hot. If you still want a dollar cost average, go on ahead. It seems like if you look at the S&P chart for the past 6 months, it looks like it's tapering off, and it even looks like it's about to dip hard. If you compare patterns from, or the 6-month pattern, how the S&P looks right now to how it did back in April, to how and to how it formed back in 2008, then you can match the trend. See, you could go ahead and see that, hey, like, it's following this specific trend that we're seeing right now, where, hey, it's tapering off and it's even going down. So if you have a lot of supply, if you have a good supply of cash just chilling in the back end, and you're waiting for an opportunity to come up, you can invest. Well, if the behavior will turn out to be the same, if the behavior will turn out to be the same, then that will tell you to, okay, stop, don't invest right now, wait for it to crash. A lot of people are doing that. They're waiting for something to happen so they can invest a lot of money into it. I am one of those people, and all that means for us is that if you have extra cash laying around, if you want to hold off, or just continue to go to dollar cost average, you can still do it. Just know that when it hits hard, or when it goes down hard, don't sell, hold, withstand the emotional roller coaster that you will go through when you see your portfolio go down. I've been in the market for like 5 years already, since when the COVID happened, and I can tell you that I was worried too. The amount of money that I had out there was no. I just purchased, held, and that was it. And it was after a year or two, I just completely had forgot about it. And oh my god, but that's the topic for today's video. All I want you guys to do is, don't listen to me if you think I'm some random guy from the internet. All I'm saying is that, hey, like, if you have extra cash and if you're willing to invest into it, go on ahead. If you have a lot of cash and you're waiting for it to crash, then go on ahead too. But the reliable method of investing is dollar cost averaging. Buy an amount that you're comfortable with on a regular cadence, and see where it takes you. Alright then, fellas, later.
No power, weak. Dempsey is a fucking bad. Just what we need, a cluttered battlefield. Bags get the